In this tutorial, we're going to cover how to access the Facebook Graph API from within a native Android application using an application token that you've received from the Facebook developer webpage. So the first thing you're going to need to do once you've created your project is go into build.gradle and add the Facebook developer SDK. You're then going to go to Tools, Android, and you're going to sync project with Gradle files. Once you've done that, the next step is to go into Android manifest.xml and add yourselves the internet permission. Once you've done that, we can go to mainactivity.java, and our goal here is to create a valid access token so that we can authenticate a request to the Facebook Graph API and receive a response here in our onCompleted callback handler. So the first thing we need to do is create an access token. Now you can see here the access token constructor takes 8 arguments. The only thing we're concerned about here is the first 3 arguments. So the first argument is an access token. I'm not actually going to reveal my access token, but it's in the format of app ID pipe app secret. The second argument is just, once again, your app ID. And the third argument is a user ID. Now that's the user ID that you created the application with on the Facebook developer webpage. Now, in order to access your app ID and app secret, you'll need to go to the Facebook webpage and go to the developer portal and then go to My Apps, find your app, and you'll find your app ID and your app secret there. So once we've done that, we have a valid token that we can use for any requests we make to the Facebook Graph API. So down here, we pass our token and a string, which is just an event that I've created specifically for the purposes of this tutorial. So here's my event. It's just called test event. The long description is event more info, and that's happening today at 7 o'clock. So what happens underneath here is that we execute this request, and upon a successful or an unsuccessful response, our onCompleted callback will get called, and basically what I've done here is I'm logging this to the console. I'm logging the string representation of the JSON object that's being returned from the Facebook Graph API. So I ran this a few minutes ago, and here in our console we can see our output. This is exactly what we're hoping to see. We have our description as event more info, our test event, and so basically we got the response that we were hoping for, which indicates that we made the request with a valid token. I hope this has been helpful. I know that the reason I made this tutorial was because when I tried to do this for the first time, I had a lot of frustration trying to figure out how to create a valid access token from within a native Android application, specifically for an application token type usage of the Facebook Graph API. I hope this has been helpful to anyone. If you have any questions, feel free to leave a comment. Cheers.